And we are back with our former scout, Sonia Beacon. She has been sort of on the side, or has taken on the side the task of retrieving or finding a lost scout ship as an unofficial mission, I guess. Um, she found out last time that, or we found out that the last message from the missing ship was from the world Edenelt, which is also in the same subsector up here, and it's also on the export route. So I guess the expected scene would be for Sonia to look for a ship to bring her at least some of the way. And she is not able to pay for her travel costs, so she would have to try and apply for work with a spaceship. They are, I mean, this is a huge, enormous spaceport, and there are thousands of ships coming in and out every day. And obviously, there are agencies that kind of broker not just goods and services, but also jobs. So she could obviously contact an agency. They will probably take some of a small cut, some kind. So she's not too keen on that. So she is actually going to see if she can uh, find maybe a ship that can take her on as a some kind of officer or whatever. So the expected scene is to hang around the spaceport and approach some ships and see if they are looking for some staff or some crew. So let's roll for expected scene. Our chaos factor is still 5. And that is it's above the chaos factor, so it's just we're going along with the expected scene. So she's kind of not interested in a sort of like uh, a flashy ship of any kind. So she's actually looking for a more sort of rundown, uh, raggedy looking ship, and she does spot uh, a spaceship that's kind of like docked in the spaceport that looks like it's been uh, traveling through a couple of meteor storms without having the shields repaired, so it's very sort of blasted and torn outside. Um, there's also it looks kind of like out of place between the other ships. Some of them are like crazy flashy, like the one on this picture from Coriolis. But the ship she's kind of like um, spotting it's a smaller ship. Let's see what kind of ship it is actually. Um, we could, if I can find a list of ships, that would help immensely. For some reason I can't. Here we go. So we have on my list here in the book, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And let's simply roll a d10 and see if we hit one of these um, ship types. That's a 10. So this is a, I guess, not a standard ship by any means, so it must be a very heavy modified model of some kind. Let's see what if we can narrow down on what it is. So it's actually an old scout ship. Um, so this is a 100-ton vessel capable of jump 2 normally, the one, and obviously she, even though it's been heavily modified um, with weird equipment and maybe it's got had some gun turrets mounted or there are mounts for them. Maybe they're not mounted at the moment. Maybe there's some extra storage space built onto it. But she can see that it's a scout ship. She knows it like the back of her hand. She's been flying scout ships for way over 10 years. So maybe she finds a spot somewhere to just maybe keep an eye on the ship, what's happening around it, and there's actually not much happening. At some point, there's one of the crew members from the ship is coming out onto the pier, um, just to hang about. I think the person looks quite bored, so Sonia decides to approach and say hi. And she's kind of like, "Hey, that's that's a ship I've been in a lot." Oh, you have, the guy says. He's kind of like maybe her own age or maybe a bit younger. Uh, Dreadlocks, like a sort of leather or suede vest. No shirt, so bare chested with a leather vest and a maybe like a bandana sort of scarf or something around his neck. Um, Very tight, sort of tight fitting trousers and like cowboy boots. And oh yeah, yeah. I used to fly scout for many years, and that particular ship I know inside out. Oh, guys, not really fantastically interested. Um, Look, Sonia says, let me get straight to the point, really. I'm kind of looking for to join a ship as crew, and the guy the guy looks more interested, I guess. Or should I make a roll for him? You can roll reaction roll in Traveler, which is a 2d6. Um, I already think because she's got. Normally, you would have a die modifier of -1 because it's a big world, but I think because she's already established herself as a scout, uh, it shouldn't be. There's no reason for this crew member to be hostile. So at least I would give a +2, maybe. So unless this is a like a criminal type that thinks she's onto him or something, that there's no reason that he should be uh, go crazy. But let's run 2d6 and add 2, so 9. That's intrigued. So the dreadlock guy, it's kind of like, whoa, you flew this thing. Yeah, I never. I'm not a. I'm just working sort of like people handling. We have a couple of spaces for travelers, so it's me kind of like, you can call me a steward of some kind. Um, so what kind of job are you looking for? I'm sure Mom would look at it with sort of look positive at it. Mom, Sonia says. Yeah, Mom. We call our captain Mom. She's our mom basically in a way, and she has. I know she's got a lot of on her hands almost sort of daily. So I'm sure she will. Why don't you why don't you drop by this late afternoon? She'll be back, and you can. I'll tell you she'll that you're looking for job. But you can. I don't know much about flying spaceships, so I wouldn't. But you can come back then and have a talk with her. Is that okay? Fine, says Sonia, and um, she withdraws and sort of waits until um, that afternoon, and as sort of as agreed, she'll return to the ship late afternoon. So we'll have a new scene then. Let's have a scene check. Chaos factor is still 5. Nothing really has happened yet. So yeah, basically she comes down to the ship. We need a name for this ship, by the way. Um, she she could have investigated a bit about the ship first by going to some kind of data bank, or but she decided not to. She not decided to just go with the flow. So she's entering the modified scout ship, and for an audience with Mom, the captain, which is a small lady, um, entirely clad in sort of like a jumpsuit, like a pink jumpsuit. So she's very sort of small, wide. She's got like yellowish hair, maybe into sort of braided, braided almost like a Viking. And she's looks quite old, so very sort of wrinkly, and her hair is thin and a sort of high forehead. She bids Sonia welcome. They're on the bridge, and Sonia is explaining that she needs a job. So, so Mom tells her that they are not able to really hire anyone, but she can join as a working passage, so unpaid, but accommodation and transport while she's working. She would have to share a room with the steward she met outside. Let's call him Saik. Um, and there's four staterooms in the standard scout ship, also in this one. So Mom will have her own room, and then Sonia and Saik will share one, and then there's 2 extra rooms which are for passengers, and they are expecting 2 passengers that are joining them on their route, which is, by the way, they are planning to follow the X-boat route, a bit in the wrong direction in terms of, I mean, speaking for Sonia, because she's going to Edenelt, but their next stop is Hammer, where the two passengers have bought passage to be transported to. We should also give the ship a name, by the way. I think. Let me see. The scout ship is called Unexpected Observation. They also talk a bit about the ship because Sonia wants to know a bit about it because it's kind of familiar to her, but it's also different because of all the modifications, and it has been upgraded to a Jump 3 engine and a slightly more powerful computer. Other than that, it's pretty much the same sort of stats it has. There are 2 passengers to Hammer expected, and we should maybe have an idea what these passengers look like. I think we could do a roll on the patron table just to check. Save this one, and just maybe it's not useful, but let's roll 2d6, and we roll 1 and 2, so 12. Yes, one is a cutthroat, and one is an arsonist. So I don't think they have kind of announced that when they booked the place. So I think that that bit of information will lead me on to go on to the next story card. Remember that we are working on this main story, which has been sort of determined to be Sonia has to find the missing scout ship, and for each story we also need a path, and the first path I drew was interesting enough, this one, Brigands and Thieves. So our hero encounters detail, a power intent on stealing detail from detail with guile or force. And I did have one detail card left from the story card, which was Woodland. And then I, since there are 3 more details on this card, I drew 3 more details, and they are Chameleon, Wealth, and Linguist. And I think this could be something along the lines that these 2 passengers have nefarious plans in mind, I think. So I should formulate that somehow. So I can add a new path. So the 2 passengers I think what they have in mind is to somehow take the ship away from Mom. I think the detailed chameleon fits with the passengers. There are some synonyms on the card, which is like disguised, fickle, fake. So I think they are obviously not traveling as arsonists and cutthroats, but as like salespeople. And what they want to steal the ship, which is the wealth card. So that is something of big value, I think. And then for they are stealing it from Mom, which could be the detail card Woodland, which is also could mean green shaded hidden. I'll just make that is basically Mom. So they are want to steal, and it's called unexpected. Now I can't remember what I call the ship. Fantastic. Uh, Unexpected observations. I think it's observations. To edit this one. Maybe just unexpected observation, that's fine. And it's a in this BTT you can choose between different. I don't know whether doesn't really matter. And let's see what the two passengers look like. Meanwhile, Sonia makes they plan to head off within a few days, and so just waiting for the two passengers. And Sonia moves in on the ship, a few things in the tiny room along with Syke, which it also turns out, I think, as she learns more about sort of what is going on the ship, that it's mostly in Syke's own mind that he's the steward. He's more like I think he's probably a former passenger that's kind of kept on. He's just stayed on and never left the ship. So he's not employed or anything. He's just sort of helping. I'm looking in the Mythic GME book tables, and I think there is something character-wise. There's some names. Let me see. Dungeon, no. Character skills, character traits. Let's do some character traits for the first guy. So 2d10, 25. Driven. I should note that here as well, actually. So passenger 1, driven, and oh, I should have rolled actually. 2d10. Maybe I should also roll a skill for him. Personality, maybe. That is a 16. Brave, I don't really think that but it fits with his motivation, that is deceive. And the other one, his motivation is escape. So they're on the run. And what is his trait? 52. Legal. Okay, they're on the run from the law, basically. Let's note that down in our story. Passenger 2 on the run from the law. And what did we get for the first one? That was also escape. So these are the two guys or persons, people, sophons that we are expecting on unexpected observation when we pick up the next time. Thanks very much.